Hey guys, I'm back with our market update part 2, so let's get started. So Destined Rivals still seems to be pretty stagnant or declining. Demand is still, it's holding up in the 60s kind of, but still pretty low. I see a lot of the sellers, they're all trying to sell for the same price. If you look at the price difference between the first and last price, it's only a measly 40 cents. And there's gotta be I guess see there's 20 boxes here, 12 there, that's 40 boxes, probably another 10, probably another 10, so that's like what 60, probably about like 60 70 boxes on this page alone. And the price keeps decreasing another 40 cents, so I'm not really sure how far we'll go down, but yeah, usually we're starting to see kind of what normal booster box behavior in a sense, like ignoring the high price. Like this is actually kind of common for some booster boxes. Like price starts really high at pre-release, and then it'll drop a bunch and it'll start to stagnate and whatever. So Surging Sparks is kind of one of the only boxes that didn't really do this. Also, Twilight Masquerade also didn't fully do it. It dropped and it kind of just kept going up. But yeah, we're starting to see normal behavior, unfortunately, for some of these boxes. Um, for cases sold. How many cases sold? One case sold, so that doesn't really help with demand. When I look at the number, the sellings, like the prices of all these sellers, honestly, even all these sellers are trying to sell a case around the same price. A lot of them are like 490s, and they go a little bit 1500s, so that's not really good. It's just a lot of pressure. People really want to sell off these boxes. So you just it kind of delete it's signs of like price declines, to be honest. The set might keep going down. And let's see. Normally TB's demand is about 80, about 70, which is kind of normal. It's usually about 70 to 80. And PCTBs, there's a cheap one sold yesterday for like 175. Now it's back at the really stagnant price of about 185. This has been like kind of one of the most stagnant products ever. And bundles are selling at 50, which it's starting to go down. Before it was like in the 70s, 60s, 70s, now it's in the 50s. So bundle demand is also going down. So just seeing a lot of declining size for Destined Rivals. Yeah, the PC ETB was bought up, so technically the price went up $10. ETBs went up $1. Bundles down $1, and then cases down about $2. So the case price it goes to 240, about 248 to 249 per booster box. Black Bolt White Flare, there's not really anything interesting for that. Prices are about the same if you want to look at the demand numbers. 7 Black Bolt ETBs, 9 bundles, and 4 binders. For White Flare, 4 ETBs, 7 bundles, and 0 binders for the last 2 days. Alright, Joining Together is one of the ones I'm actually eyeing a little more recently. Demand has really picked up, so demand slowed down quite a bit for a while, and it's been pretty good lately. Like it's really been like the 40 box range lately, so that's pretty good. Especially when Joining Together has been like, it's not really as favorite of a set, but I think I got the numbers reversed again. This should be 11. This should be 21. So 21 enhanced boxes were bought for around, the market price is around 204, 205. The other one sold like 10 or 11. And then there were 2 cases bought. So that's a total of, that's 32 boxes plus 12. So that's 44 boxes. So that's a pretty high number of Joining Together booster boxes. And because sometimes it goes down, it's like 10 or 20. So pretty good. As far as like price changes, technically only the PC to be in the enhanced box went down $1. Usually the prices kind of just fluctuate a little bit, so it's kind of normal. But it's a good sign for Joining Together to be selling this much. There's still this really cheap case over here for 1,200. But yeah, otherwise the normal price for Joining Together is still around 205 to 212 usually. But yeah, you see the increased buying recently of Joining Together. For whatever reason. I don't know if it's because the graph also helped. Because the graph recently came back because it was completely broken. Like the 3-month shows all this over here, but the 1 month is still a little more accurate. I wonder how it shows in the 1 year. And yeah, I don't necessarily know if the price is gonna rise, but like seeing that amount of demand is pretty good. This graph is still broken, and yeah, but people are still like people will pay like 210 to 220 for trade card. They're commonly doing it with this listing. For ETBs, 13 was sold. It's kind of normalish amount to be honest. PCTBs, a really low number, so only one. Usually it's at least like 3 or 5. So it's a really low number. And then yeah, this one's just a little cheaper over here at 120. Otherwise it goes like 122. And then bundles, bundle demand, it looks like it's decreasing. The bar just get ever so slightly smaller. So I see 45 sold. Before it'd be like 60, like 70 to 100, honestly. So bundle demand's kind of going down, and like the cases, yeah, cases have been getting bought more lately. You're seeing this increased demand. So 2 sold over here. And we're starting to see the price go a little more toward back to 1260 a case, although there's 5 over here. And the prices people bought it at, they bought it around 1240. And this one is still like really, really cheap at 1200. This plus cards has not been able to sell because no one's buying for this listing. Okay, so Crown Zenith is pretty stagnant, so I'll just go over that really quick. So not the ETPs went down by $1. We're kind of in a stagnant part of Crown Zenith, but the things to look out for are, see, the pack demand was 34, so that's kind of like its normal low amounts, but it's enough to at least get some product going. But yeah, as I said before, there's not a lot of listings at these lower prices. So like all these listings on the first page, this is not English, so it doesn't really count. But yeah, all these are really like up to here, it's 8 or less. And then here there's 12 at 1087. And then when you go to the next page, you start seeing higher quantities. So you see $11 at 47, and it jumps to 11.45. So like there's a good runway for packs. It just kind of depends as pack demand increases, and there's been more like it's kind of I think like every other day there has been like increased Crown Zenith demand, so that'll help flush out pack prices. CN Sky is still kind of struggling to go up, but it's been pretty consistently selling 2 per day. It's 2 sold yesterday, 2 sold today. But yeah, there's still a bunch of these 161, 162 boxes. ETBs, they're slowing down, so they sold only 1 yesterday, but 4 are bought today, which is interesting. So I guess 3 of them bought 175. Maybe that was a deal. I don't really know. Apparently, some picture listings were also sold yesterday. So, but yeah, the price is still kind of stuck around 182, 183. There's like that's like 10 ETBs at 183. So it's gonna take a little while for that to flush out. And in bundles, we had the first day where there was no box spot. There was only 1 the day before, but then none of them sold. So you know that's a slower sign for bundles. All right, for 151, let's see. I had some notes on 151. So something about bundle demand, UPC demand, and bluing demand. So the thing I'm honestly most excited for 151 is probably the Bluing Wars demand. So I'm still waiting for Bluing Wars to just like pick back up, but we're finally starting to see just a little more demand. So 21, usually when it hits like the 20s, is when prices start to shift. Usually these lower amounts of demand at like 7 to 10 isn't quite enough, and also plus when you take into account like what's actually listed, you're like, okay, is that enough? But usually I think when Bluing Wars recovers, it's usually like when it starts picking up and people are buying a little more. But yeah, the price is going up ever so slightly, I think. So it went back up another $3 after dropping to 117. And yeah, like if this kind of continues, then it will finally shift back upwards. But when I look at the prices, like I see this is 121, this is 122. It's not really that much of an increase, but we're slowly getting there. I want to see what people are paying for these things. So these don't include shipping, unfortunately. Some of them go up to 120, which I guess is good. But yeah, when you look at the price per pack, it's just like the cheapest price per pack. It's even cheaper than loose packs, so it's just pretty ridiculous. If you want to just open packs like Bluing Waters, if you don't mind all the extra cardboard, it's a pretty good. It's quite cheap. It's cheaper than poster collections. It's cheaper in bundles. And usually 14 packs. The odds aren't really terrible. Usually people don't like super small quantities of packs. That's why I don't like the 3-pack things. But 14 packs, you have decent odds. All right. For bundles, they technically went down in price, but don't underestimate them. Demand actually went up to 50 before slowing down to the 30s, so that is good. And there's only so many boxes, bundles at that lower price, so there's 3 of them over here, 68. And then it goes back to 71 over here, and then 73. So the price is still around 72, 74. There's just these little small deals, so don't let the lowest listed fool you. And also if you're selling, if you have these and think of selling, be aware of factoring that in. Some people are gonna quote you on this lowest listed, but really the market is reflecting more towards 73, 74. Okay, so UPCs. Demand's been kind of slowing down. I just noticed that today. If you look at the 1 month graph, there was way more UPC buying earlier in the first half. Now it's been slowing down. It's still selling. It's only had 1 day this month, June 1st, where it had 0 sales, but it's definitely slowing down as we're reaching toward 400. But I feel it could be any day now that we actually hit 400. It just kind of depends if demand just suddenly picks up, because there's only these 2 at 380, and then this is at 385 that goes to 390. So it's really not that far, but it keeps going kind of up and down, to be honest. And then packs. So a ton of packs were bought today. I mentioned this yesterday, but pack demand has been pretty insane lately for a lot of sets. So 151 sold 242 packs, and Prismatic sold 381 packs. So just a lot of packs. And so I've been just telling people, hey, watch out for loose pack prices. It's kind of hard to price packs because I don't want to necessarily put I just write down a price, but I give you the context. That's basically how I do it. So when you look at pack prices, the first English one is over here. It's at 1025 for 24. Technically, if you buy all of them, I think it only costs $1 shipping, so you actually save quite a bit. But yeah, when you go over here, it goes up to 1029 over here, and this is 1050. And this is 1060. So I feel 1060 is kind of upper limit, and then 1025 is the lower limit of the pack prices. But yeah, as more and more packs get bought up, it will flush out a lot of the cheaper supply. So that's pretty helpful for keeping pack prices pretty good. I feel 151 is a little stronger in terms of pack pricing than Prismatic right now, because it's older, so people probably want to hold it a little more. But also when I look at the products, there's fewer products in competition with the pack price. I think Prismatic just has a ton of products where the price per pack is pretty low. But for 151 mostly, there's other smaller products, but for the main ones, you see packs are 1025 over here. The only thing comparable to that is really Blowing Waters and poster collections. Bundles are slightly out of reach, but they're similar. Everything else is way out of reach. This is $20 a pack, $27 a pack, 46 and 29. So they're just way out of reach. All right, and then as far as demand numbers for other things, let's see, 2 normal ETBs bought, 1 PC ETB. Posters are selling at 11. I'm going to just look at the price. So yeah, I feel there's a couple of cheaper posters listed. So there's 3 of them now, a little below 34. Otherwise, it goes to 34 pretty quickly. Binders, I've sold 1, but otherwise there's still a good amount of them at lower price. And yeah, Barkbird, as expected, they actually did decrease their price. I think they were selling 125 before. Now it's closer to 120. So they are lowering their price over time. They do seem like they want to sell. I don't know if messaging directly on TC Player works, but yeah, I don't know how side deals work, but honestly, they're probably interested in getting some amount sold. That's pretty much it for 151. UPCs are up 15, but they kind of fluctuate. Bundles are down $2, but that's because there's some cheap ones. ETBs are up $2. as it kind of fluctuates, and then these products down here, PC, ETB, and poster down $1, and binders down $5. So that's the kind of the sale. And bluing is up 3. All right, prismatic, as I mentioned before, prismatic packs are kind of one of the more interesting things. So 381, what was it? 381 packs bought, a huge amount of prismatic packs bought. A lot of it was because if you look at the sales history, I feel like it was probably one person, but yeah, over here, 200 packs bought once and 100 packs bought once. So probably like they just bought from 2 different listings, but yeah, just a good amount, and they're selling at like 11.35 per pack pretty much. That was a good chunk of what the prismatic products sold. And when I look at the pack price now, like I'm just telling you, like all these pack flushes are just gonna help raise the pack price. So there's a bunch of weird listings here where it's only one pack, but yeah, this is like $9.90 a pack. This is $10.20. This is $10.90. So this is where you start getting a little more quantity. Everything else is like below like 6 packs. So this is 24 packs at $10.90, and then you get $10.95 at 60, and you get to like $11. So there's a good chunk of packs around the $11 mark, and then it does go up to like $10.35, which is kind of where those hundreds of packs are bought. So that's kind of the spread of pack prices, and yeah, like people pay different prices depending on which sellers they prefer. All right, so super premium collections, I think the price went down, the price went up. The price went up like $3, so it recovered a little bit, and it's getting back closer to 200, but I'm a little iffy on where it'll go. Like it's definitely a desired product. It's not like a complete trash product or anything, so it might recover. But yeah, it's been kind of struggling. ETBs, this one is like a don't let it fool you. So it looks like it just went back to 99.75, but that's like a cheaper one over here. Otherwise, it goes back to 105. Next one's at 106. So yeah, they are recovering back to like closer to like 105 to 110 ETBs. And then bundles are having a good amount of demand as well. 100 sold, and yeah, there's bundles at $65, but then it does go back up 67. But that kind of seems like the ceiling. It seems like the ceiling for bundles is about $67 right now. They officially, ETBs technically went down $5, and bundles went up about $1. Okay, surprise boxes, they went up about $3. So they recovered a little bit. Yeah, there's been a little more bundle surprise box demand, like 36 yesterday, 40 the day before, 56 the day before that. It could go back up to like 54, 55. As I said before, I don't really have faith in the surprise boxes right now. They just keep like going down. I already talked about packs, PCTBs. Demand finally slowed down. The last couple of days, it's been selling about 5 or 6 a day, and yesterday only sold 2, so they slowed down, and still looking to see price increases. I said it could go maybe like the 280s, but it's just been there's enough supply to eat up that demand. Binders, there's a little extra binder sold, so usually it's like 4, some days it was like 4 to 10. Yesterday was 11, so just a couple more sales for that. But yeah, binders are technically down $1, and all these other ones didn't really change. All right, pouches sold 4. These are still really cheap. And then tin displays, they're about the same price, but yeah, one sold yesterday, and it looks like they actually might rise in price. So there's this one left at $225, and this is at $228, and this at $230, $232, or $233. So watch out for tin displays. They're already pretty expensive, but yeah, they're holding pretty well, and they're not selling like a ton of supply, but it looks like they've been selling pretty consistently, so the price really might go up. Yeah, price per pack wise, looking at things like loose packs are 10.90. Bundles are about 1080, so they're about the same price. So that might rise bundle prices hopefully. It also might rise ETB pricing, because ETB pricing is getting closer to, well, actually no, ETB price is more usually toward 1160, so it's still a little further away. The pouches are still really cheap, so that helps drive down pack prices. All right, that's it for today's video. Thanks, guys. Bye.